Hi guys,
Hello people,
I'm Milena,
I'm Lola.
and we're watching the last episode of The Wire.
Oh, episode 10.
The whole show.
Episode 10.
Of season 5.
Yeah. We were supposed to film this yesterday, but neither of us were feeling very well. Milena's still not feeling that great today. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna watch this today.
Unfortunately, we are finishing this show.
I cannot... Honestly, it feels like it flew by. I don't know. Like when we were in it, it felt like it lasted fucking ages. But like now that we're finishing it, I'm like, we just started it yesterday.
I have a feeling like the only season that flew by for me was season 5.
Yeah.
Like that season didn't happen.
Yeah.
Basically didn't happen, honestly.
Because like there were so... I mean, it's not like 3 episodes less. It's not like that much.
That's what I want to say.
But like I really felt it.
I really felt like... One day we were playing episode 1 and now we're playing episode 10.
Yeah,
I honestly don't have feeling like the only thing that I remember in this season is Jimmy, you know, and the things that he has done. It just like happened like this.
Yeah. Where
season 4 I have really felt it, and where first season to me feels like a lifetime ago.
Oh my god, fucking honestly, remember D?
That's what I want to say. Not only
Stringer,
D, but like
Avon.
Meeting them for the first time. It's not just like remembering them. I remember Stringer and Avon even more in season 3, honestly.
Yeah.
But like meeting them in season 1, that was a lifetime ago for
honestly,
me.
Yeah. Now when I think about like especially D, it does feel like such a long time ago.
And the kids, Wallace and Bodhi, for the first time there in the pit, like. It just feels like I feel like they have that there has been 5 seasons, honestly.
Yeah. Even
more when now I remember them, you know?
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Oh my god, I was watching an interview, like the Hot Ones interview of Carmelo Anthony, the basketball player, and he apparently grew up in the neighborhood where they were filming the Wire, and he said like that every day that he was passing by the couch where the kids were sitting, I was like, oh, the couch. I still remember the end of season 1, when we just see the empty couch. That like still fucking breaks my heart.
Honestly.
I mean, there's so many things in this show that absolutely broke my heart. It feels like beyond repair. You know, like this is gonna stay with me.
I mean, last episode.
My god, that was one of the worst. That was one of the worst moments of the show for me.
For me as well. I mean, last episodes for me, and also last 2 episodes of season 4.
Yeah.
Like those 3 episodes have been the hardest episodes in the show by far, because like I can't say in first few seasons like my heart hasn't been that broken. It has, but like it was more like basically getting into the show in many ways, you know?
Yeah.
Like we didn't even know that like our hearts could be that broken before season 4.
Yeah.
Like with the yes, and like Wallace, yes, but somehow that didn't hit me nearly as much as season 4 and these kids.
Yeah.
Because we were so into that.
Yeah.
Somehow, you know? They were our main focus.
I mean, just like, because like
education and schools, everything was our main focus in comparison to the politics and people in charge.
Yeah.
Because in season 1 we were still getting to know like yes, police, but like also Avon, Stringer. I feel the whole
like
world.
The kids in season 4 just represented so many kids.
Yeah.
You know, all of them were kind of there to show you kind of where you end up in these types of environments and how cruel it is. And so like they represent a much bigger picture than just like this child.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like, let's say, for example, Randy's storyline. Such a fucking tragic story. Like I will not be able soon to recover from that storyline, honestly.
No, like literally, I can't. Because, I still can't believe that they like gave him to us walking in, and like you see how hardened he has become, and like you remember him in season 4, and he was not that.
He was a child.
God,
he was a fucking child.
And like. Again, just like seeing the kids in this season and how they ended up, it's like it's the most heartbreaking thing. Like it's only Naaman is the only one. that like managed
Naaman is the
just by
only...
sheer fucking luck, you know, that managed to be saved.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, like, I'm sure that in this episode, I'm sure we're gonna see, I'm gonna assume at least just Yuki potentially doing drugs. Because
only
like
him is gonna
he walked in and like, you know, we kind of all know where this leads. And the rest of them, I think they showed you enough to know where it's going. We might see Michael.
We're gonna definitely see Michael, I think.
Yeah.
Naaman, I think we got his conclusion.
Yeah.
Randy, I mean, that scene, that was for to show us basically what his story is gonna be in continuation of the story. And again, with Michael, like with Yuki, I definitely think we're gonna see him. I don't think it's gonna be a big scene. I think it's gonna be potentially in one of the scenes in the, you know how the show always does the last few minutes or something like that. I think
it's like
that's
a montage.
I think that's where they're gonna put something like that. You know, I don't think we're gonna see him thinking
no,
about
I don't think
it.
it's gonna be like a scene.
No,
you know,
I think we're just gonna see him next to them first time trying drugs, whichever one of them, you know.
Yeah. Because it is the last episode of the whole show.
Yeah. And with Michael, I think he's gonna have some scene. I honestly don't know what. I think he's gonna even have more scenes, let's say, than Yuki to show us what he's gonna do, if he's gonna be next Omar, how he's gonna survive, or things like that. I expect Michael to be in this episode, present in this episode.
Potentially.
Honestly.
I mean, there's still some things that are like, let's say, left for us to figure out, to learn in this episode, like what the sentencing is gonna be for Marlo.
I think no sentencing is gonna be for Marlo.
I mean, yes, because like we know that fucking Herc, as always, just did something.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they can like get him off easily, maybe just like give him a year or something, maybe not even give him anything. But again, I think what is gonna be detrimental for Marlo, that like I feel good about, is that like his name is not gonna be his name on the street, you know, which is a thing that he really cares about because of the whole thing with Omar. Mm-hmm. And like that in a way feels like justice, that it is because of Omar. Mm-hmm. And that people are gonna think that he didn't face him. And even when he says like, no, I just didn't know, no one's gonna believe him, you know. And so like that's what he's gonna be known as. That would bring me even more joy than him just in jail, you know, because like this is what he cares about. He cares about that power and reputation. It's not like, you know, it's not like about the money. It's kind of similar to how Avon and Stringer, let's say, were. Where Stringer was more about the money and Avon was more about, let's say, kind of that power and the legacy.
And his name as well.
Yeah, of course. And Marlo is also thinking in that way. You know, it's about the power. So, like, if he loses that, that's going to be his, like, worst. That's going to be his worst case scenario. Yeah. And so like that's gonna make me feel good, and that is still like the thing that we need to learn, and we also need to find out what is gonna be the potential consequences or lack thereof for Jimmy and Lester.
I think that I mean they're gonna conclude the story again for the whole show and all the characters. I'm interested to see where all of them end up, you know, what is gonna happen with Jimmy, what is gonna happen with Lester, you know. Those are the things, like with Kima, I think we kind of got a lot because like she's now very much involved with her child's life, which is very nice. I think we're gonna have maybe more scenes about that as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think Kima had just like great progression this season.
I am very happy about that, and she's the one who tattletaled.
Good. Fucking good, my girl. I have never supported anyone more.
But like again, Jimmy, we need to see, like, say maybe Jimmy's reaction to that, if there is gonna be any.
I'm feeling very like, because it's the last episode, and so like I spent the whole season kind of really mad at Jimmy. I mean, mad at Lester as well, but like I cared more about Jimmy, and so like that was a personal hit for me, you know. And now that it's like coming to an end, now I feel kind of sad. Now I don't feel angry towards him because like it's gonna be my last episode with him as well, and so like that makes me feel so sad. I don't know, like I loved him for many seasons.
But like he did disappoint me very much, so I am more sad that like I don't want any type of happy ending for him.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I have been sad about that for some time.
Yeah.
Now, for many episodes right now.
Yeah.
But like, I'm wondering where his character is gonna go. Is he gonna get fired, or is he gonna quit?
I would love if some of it was his choice.
I'm wondering about that.
I would love if like there was, because like we see that there is like some type of, like, let's say guilt, self-reflection about the things that he has done. That like I would like for their, like, I don't know in what capacity, like maybe if people are gonna be mad at Kima for telling, like if Jimmy is gonna be like, you should have told or something. I just want something there to like make me feel at peace with his character. I feel like we are gonna get that though.
Me too.
So like I am kind of confident about that.
Yeah.
And like I think we're gonna maybe get the reporter writing Bubs' story.
Yeah, maybe.
I would really like that.
Yeah, maybe.
And we're gonna have to see what happens with Scott and everything. I really don't expect him to have any consequences for his actions. I think he's just gonna continue being a reporter who lies and like just embellishes stories, because like that would make sense for what the season is trying to portray.
Yeah.
With everyone being corrupt and how it really doesn't have an end in sight. And so those are all the things that we have to like wrap up in this episode. But like, again, a lot of things, it's not like this needs to be like a fast-paced episode or something like that. I just think it's going to be, you know, a good last episode of the show.
And I
it's
think
a long one.
It lasts longer. So I think they will wrap up everything.
Yeah. So guys, without further ado.
Let's play the episode.
Oh, sad. The episode is called 30. 30 what?
30.
Like a sentence? Like millions that you refuse for schools again? Like what? God, I wish you failed. But he's gonna go on to be governor, I'm sure. Oh, they came with...
Yeah.
They're gonna cover it up. They're gonna absolutely cover it up. I wanted to see Rawls' reaction to this.
So no one killed any homeless men.
Some are random killings, some were natural deaths that were likely manipulated. But they're not linked in any way.
But why?
The detectives used the money to fund a case against the drug traffickers responsible for the slayings in the vacancy a year ago.
Last week's arrests and seizures were a direct result.
Oh, hey, Norman, this is my ass here.
That's true, boss. But it does have a certain charm to it. They manufactured an issue to get paid. We manufactured an issue to get you elected governor.
The detectives involved will be suspended and ultimately fired at the least. Beyond that, a criminal prosecution on fraud and perjury charges is probable.
Not to mention that the evidence against the traffickers arrested last week is tainted. That case could collapse as well.
Fucking believe this. You two are on point here. Word of this gets down to Annapolis, the governor's going to wreck me with it.
How does word not get out once we suspend the detectives?
Nothing's gonna
Never
happen.
mind sending it to the grand jury for a criminal case.
The cops that did this, they gotta go.
Until we can reason the best way to address this, do nothing and speak to no one about any of this.
What Mike is saying is that we need to be very careful about how to proceed.
What Mike is saying that we are not gonna say anything. We're gonna cover this up.
I wish I was still at the newspaper so I could write on this mess.
At least someone's having fun with this. Oh, last time. I'm just waiting for the pictures of Wallace and Dee to hurt me. Way down in the hole. Didn't even notice when they said the devil way down the hole that someone's like walking from downstairs. Are we gonna see Avon maybe?
Maybe.
My god. Maybe we see him if Marlo enters jail.
I don't think he's gonna enter jail, so...
Maybe he enters for like 10 days.
To enter the jail, he will have to be prosecuted.
Yeah, but like maybe he does get prosecuted. They just like, because of the evidence is tainted, they give him like legitimately 6 months or something, you know? As opposed to...
If the evidence is
The Life
tainted,
of
I don't think he
Kings.
gets anything.
Clay Davis files?
Showboat on the boardwalk, 26 at the Regatta. You lost 3 times your salary over the last 2 years. I ran you through Sentinel Title and came back with 7 pages of liens and a 3rd mortgage you folded on 2 months ago. Gary, you're done. We found sealed grand jury papers in the house of the drug dealer. We got people naming you.
Oh, he's the one?
Well, for starters, you're gonna make a phone call.
That's why he might still stand trial, because they have something on the lawyer.
This on him should be gone. We're gonna let the shit stand because of her cockheaded to air it out.
Cedric, you can't.
Why not?
Let's hear it.
Just roll over and play dead for every policeman knows about this.
I wonder where was this when he took a kid's eye out?
You can't. do anything.
Where was that passion?
They need someone to
But like I like to see the passion, but
Me
like, at the
too,
end
but
of
I'm
the
just
day-
like, how, like, where was that before?
And they'll fire
I mean,
me.
it's good it's happening at all.
Yeah.
But like I think they're gonna again as well choose themselves.
Yeah, of course.
I was in charge of this thing. I was on that wiretap. This is my career. This is everything. You go public, and it hurts Carcetti, and you know the weight will not fall on them. It never does. Everything I worked for all those years in that courthouse. Please.
It's 25 cents. Baltimore.
It really shouldn't hurt. Like, it really shouldn't. It shouldn't have to give you a livelihood to do the right thing.
You know, but like in that situation like this, he's not gonna say anything.
No, you didn't say.
Like nobody will.
Oh, the sister.
You gonna put all that in the paper? That's the plan. Even the parts about Surat? Yeah. Look at it in a story like that. Like what? Like me,
It's a good
Surat getting
story,
high,
man.
not getting high. My sister, all that shit in there. What could do any of that do to put in the newspaper? People read it, they think about it, maybe see things different. Well, if you don't want me to do this, I'm gonna do it.
The offenders are in my shop, are they not?
What do you want?
I can work with you in private, Bill.
If Rawls isn't in, I'm not either.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about Bill Rawls. I believe he's about to have one of those road to
Yeah.
Damascus moments.
And so you're telling yourself that maybe there's a way for you to leverage this. To get yourself a full term as commissioner. To delay Daniels a few more years in exchange for you shutting the fuck up and doing what you're told. And you know what, Bill? You're not far off. You've got leverage here, just a little.
I have your word.
God. The wheel keeps turning.
Back channel is the way to go.
The police commissioner done fell off his ass.
He is really dying here. Is this my boy?
I need to see Mr. Presbo.
Someone will come down.
Someone? Is he not working here anymore?
Are you a student here?
It's Donald. It's me, Duquan.
Well, it's good to see you, Duquan, but you're not a student here, so I can't let you inside.
I just came past to see Mr. Presbo.
Well, he's teaching right now. And after the bell, I'll tell Mr. Presbalewski you're out here for him, okay?
You better fucking do that. Is she just not gonna tell him?
I'm surprised you with
It's
something.
gonna be like a lost fail.
Already have.
I got a tip from an informant about a leak out of the grand jury unit. Gary D. Pascal. Decent enough guy, but he's got a bear of a gambling problem and a bank of drug lawyers who willing to pay for their look-sees. And the pick of the litter, Maurice Lee. I kid you not.
Gary, is there a leak?
He broke right away. He's ready to give it up. Needed to. One-party consent call implicating Maurice Lee.
Where's Gary now?
He went up to the second floor to hand in his letter of resignation. Then he went home to wait for the store to drop. He's okay. If we can turn Levy and some of these other drug lawyers, we can route the drug money all over town.
Oh my god.
Hey, Duquan, hello.
Oh my god.
Hey!
Jamie, you lost your mind? I don't care what you said. You're gonna buy him a new sandwich. And past that, you're gonna go inside and ask Mr. Williams for a broom and clean that up. You understand? Right now, Damien, or you're mine for another week of detention. I don't want to hear another word.
It looks like you got the hang of it.
You still at Southwestern?
Well, it's like me and a semester off, you know? I'm outdoors now. I was hoping maybe I could get with you, borrow some money. So I can
Oh
get a
my
place
god,
to-
for
get
drugs.
myself settled, so I can go back to school.
You're on the street?
I mean, I got some people ready to give me a really, really good place if I can come up with some money for it.
Or maybe he thinks this, but he's gonna use it on drugs.
He's on
How
drugs.
much do you need?
A couple hundred.
Yeah.
But if you can go 150 more, I can enroll in the GED program down BCCC.
Give me a couple minutes. I'll drive you down there. If you are eligible, I'll write a check right to the bursar's office down there.
Nah, Mr. P, you ain't got to go through all that besides. I really ain't got the time to go down there with it.
And I don't even care about the money. But understand, I'm going to go down to BCCC in a few days and find out if you're enrolled. If you are, I'm going to say, great, Duquan can come past with his certificate when he gets it. And we're still friends. And he can still rely on me. But if you aren't enrolled, then, well, I imagine I'm not going to see you again, am I?
And Mr. P, you're definitely going to enroll. We'll see.
Okay, all
I'm saying is, we run down all the leads we had, all the office reports are in, and at this point, barring any new developments, I don't need all this fucking. The case has gone quiet. There's no red ribbons, there's no bodies, there's no disappearances, there's not a fucking word on the cell phone. This thing's fucking useless.
So what? You don't want the wiretap either now?
I can't make shit up, can I? It is what it is.
Shit is like a war, ain't it? Easy to get in, hell to get out.
Crumlin knows everything. Daniels too. They figured it out. How? I don't know. She made it clear in no uncertain terms there's not to be any further homeless killings. Nothing more on this case whatsoever.
Does she know about Marlo?
Because he knows everything. Daniels knows.
Why aren't we fired? Why aren't we in fucking bracelets?
Look, meet me down at Captain House in 10 minutes, all right?
Paula.
To be continued. Obviously, they're not in a hurry to go public because we ain't cuffed.
They're pretending on this case like we're pretending. Why?
Carquet. He's exposed on this.
How? Just blame it all on us, on the department.
To kill us, they got to kill Rawls, Daniels, and half the chain of command, and he made those guys. It's his police department. 6 months from now after the election, they might decide to open up in grand jury, so we can still go to jail. And if not, I expect to be back in the pawn shop unit, and you, my brother, gonna ride the boat.
So what? It was worth it. Wasn't it?
Was it?
Are they gonna let the case against Marlo and his people stand knowing what they know? We got almost as much on them as they do on us.
I called some of them back, asked if they really said those things. He wished he'd said some of them, but that he'd never been that smart in his life. Someone takes the time to re-report this stuff. It'll get ugly.
I don't got no bail for Chris, right? I mean, you got the murder warrant.
Well, neither. Right now, the important thing is not bail, though. The important thing is this. I need you to tell me who else knew your clock code.
Cheese, Monk, Chris, and the supply.
No one else.
No one else even had my cell number, except you.
But the police say the source told them that you were re-upping on the day. And word of that might have slipped out. That's possible. I mean, if you were wholesaling all over town. They only grab your cells when they arrest you. And then they have to go get warrants. It's only when they get to the photos and break the code that they have enough to type a charging document for you or Chris, right? I mean, you aren't caught with drugs. But they had arrest warrants on both of you within a couple hours, which means that they broke the code almost instantly. In no time at all.
Why that?
My investigator thinks so.
You get it now. You ain't in the streets. You ran him as much muscle as possible and get that boy.
Oh my god.
Because he knew we was on him. He knew we was on him because he didn't want to talk about the damn re-up.
What are we gonna watch?
My boy is far gone.
Far gone, yeah.
Okay, what is your shameless ass doing here? Just passes. Just nothing. What?
Okay, here it comes. Yeah. Where? You fucking kidding? It's more bullshit.
He tied up the red ribbon. What the fuck is wrong with him? What the fuck is wrong with him?
But is he dead? Was the guy dead?
I mean, he wasn't.
The guy wasn't dead, so how?
Some do, some don't. The ones that do want to keep pretending.
Leave him. Girl.
He's got you. Yeah, well. I mean, he's got what you're about. The guy likes you, that shows through. He's saying that this giving back that you're doing, he's putting that up against your odd. You know, he ain't letting you off the hook for shit, but he's just putting it all out there, you know, the good and the bad.
You know what? That don't bother me to have out there.
The good.
I ain't lying to no
The
one
good
about
bothers him.
Scared of somebody calling you good?
A lot of folks volunteer places. A lot of folks share meetings. Plenty of motherfuckers wake up every day and not get high. Man, making me sound special for doing what the fuck I need to be doing.
You get the tag? I couldn't see it from where I was.
What van? What the fuck is he talking about?
6 foot, not heavy.
He has such issues.
Nothing I noticed, kind of nondescript.
He doesn't even know this is not real. He doesn't even know that this is not
What's he
real.
doing?
This is ridiculous.
Oh my god, Jimmy.
Someone trying to kidnap you? Drag you into a van?
Okay.
Who was trying to hurt you?
My father. When he was a drunk.
Detective, there's a vagrant over here. Says he saw something.
Nothing.
Who?
Johnny Weaver tagged him.
Okay, why'd you say so?
Trying to keep you cover, huh? That's better if everyone down here thinks they're one of the regulars, right?
Oh.
Anyway, what's the ruckus with Petey? Drunk? Yeah, laying there for 45 minutes before that preppy cocksucker even parks his car.
Thanks.
No problem. Hey, give me a dollar, make it look right.
What about the reporter? Could charge false statement.
Oh, we can't do anything. God, Scott.
Honestly shocking.
Lost his fucking mind.
Yeah.
What on some fries?
Already made dinner.
Put it in the fridge. Go for lunch tomorrow if you like. Nah, I can't anymore.
I saw what I saw. Alma is on
Insane.
the phone with police PIO, and they're telling us on the record and off that they're discounting any report of a possible abduction.
That may be.
Our job is to report the news, not to manufacture it. Fuck you, Gus. Nice. We cannot run this shit.
Are you suggesting that Scott made any of this up?
Yes, all of it.
You ever notice that the guys who do that, they always start with something small. You know, just a little quote that they clean up. And then it's a whole anecdote. And pretty soon they're seeing some amazing shit. The police have confirmed
It always starts with something true. But then you got a son of a bitch who just happens to be walking in the Guilford entrance when the mysterious gray van comes in.
Gus, this has gotten personal between you and Scott. And it's affecting your judgment.
It's in my notes, Gus. Everything that happened, everything that guy said when I got to him. Every last word is in my notes!
How can he... How is this possible?
No words, honestly.
How can he be so defensive when he knows he's lying?
Yeah. Our job is that there is nothing in the notes. I'm joking, he will at least put it in the notes.
Home earlier than I thought.
Huh.
Yeah. Home.
Girl. What is this now?
Hi, my girl.
You hit again.
Told you.
Serial killer.
Oh my god.
You don't believe me? Check out his left wrist.
Oh my god.
Really?
Did you ever with me a gamble?
Copycat.
I mean, shocking. Only a matter of fucking time.
No.
Now they're gonna, like, someone's gonna kill someone and be like, I can just pin it on
Yeah.
a fucking serial killer.
But if they catch him, they can put everything on
Going over
him.
the charging documents on the Parkville Stanfield drug arrests.
We have something on you as well, so shut the fuck up.
Locates everyone. You guys were up on those phones and tracking my clients long before they went near any drugs.
Untrue.
And my sources around here tell me that with all the
Well,
budget
about your
cutbacks,
sources.
the wiretap you all have had up this year has been on the homeless killer thing.
Are you saying you have a source of information inside the courthouse?
It's a figure of speech.
I just don't even understand how they can cover this up. You know what I mean?
Who? Oh.
Well, the police, how they can actually cover
But like if
this
they
up.
found the guy who just killed this one with the white ribbon, couldn't they put everything on him?
I got nothing to do with this.
Wonderful. We've eliminated one suspect.
My girl, tell him.
No doubt. What? Daniel's nose. Roman too. How the fuck you...
A girl,
Oh my
hold your
God.
head up fucking high and say, I talked.
Fucking Christ, Jimmy. I told you.
Why don't you say, the bigger the lie, the more they believe?
You played with fire. Did
Oh, do all of you know? Nice.
You're not killing him yourself, McNulty. At least assure me of that. The one who disappeared.
He's okay. Last I checked.
Good, that's a start.
No words, honestly.
I thought you got a message.
Copycat. If it matters, I know now.
Fuck what you know now. This was all for money, McNulty. You couldn't live without the OT.
The Stanfield case. It was that.
I know where it went, but you got paid too. You and Freeman and maybe a dozen other guys.
Wasn't about the money.
He's not lying about that.
Yeah.
I don't expect any of you will be doing police work ever again. And the only reason this isn't before a grand jury right now is because our mayor can't live with that. So this is your last case. Work it.
Christian United
Yeah.
Thrift Village?
All about a green man. I'm burning that fucking newspaper building to the ground. Huh.
What?
What?
The homeless guy from days ago. What was in his pockets? Bullshit. You got business cards? Yeah, but every card has an alibi. So you see.
Is it the card one?
Business cards.
Hey, who's up next? I think it's Dion. Motherfucker, you ain't that good.
At least for his last case, he really is that good.
Yeah.
What's up?
The pad he waved at you, saying it was all filled with notes. It's empty. Every page.
And it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't even, it's not even fucking matter.
How confident you have to be to weigh with an empty?
Well, I mean...
Like, why did you even at least cover your...
No, he is that dumb and confident.
He's delusional.
I was gonna say if I was Gus, I would quit, but imagine a person like him quitting.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really a lot of journalists here that have a lot of integrity.
But like, I would scream if they didn't want to do anything. I would scream in front of everybody what he did.
Literally.
Like, for everybody to...
No.
Quit.
I'll get right to the point. We can grand jury Gary DePasquale tomorrow, along with that one-party consent call. Or,
Can we actually do something?
no court trials. Hartlow pleads to all the bodies in the vacants and takes life. No parole. Metcalf, NYX staff plead to possession with intent. Stanfield takes 10 years on conspiracy.
You're blackmailing an officer of the court. You're guilty of obstruction of justice.
You're right. I could get 6 to 8 years. And for bribery of a state's attorney and the violation of grand jury secrecy, you could see 10 to 12. I'll be out a couple years before you, Maury. You come home, first round's on me, I guess.
So you'll let me walk to keep this case out of open court? File must be dirty as hell. The conspiracy charge on Stanfield falls without the cell phones, and you and I both know that if someone does some digging, they're gonna find an illegal wiretap and you're gonna lose the phones. Partlow takes his chances on the legit murder charge only. The conspiracy count goes, and Stanfield and the rest walk.
Stanfield walks, but the case goes on the Stet docket. Not dismissed outright.
Stanfield
And
walks.
although I can tell Mr. Stanfield that this is his only window. Hartlow pleads to all the murders, and both lieutenants plead to the drugs. Then Stanfield retires.
You know the guy with the cards that like kept asking for cards, the homeless guy. We know him.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to say when I saw cards.
So do they think he killed him? I don't know
or
what.
just to put the ribbon on it? I don't know. Maybe he could.
Oh, it's mine. Yours or no?
He solved it in fucking 3
solved.
minutes.
But like, are they gonna pin everything on him?
I don't know.
Why'd you kill your friend?
I think they might just say he's a copycat. I don't know.
But how they're gonna cover up the rest?
He's always drinking. Did you put a ribbon around his wrist like the others?
I guess they are.
Yeah.
Did you see that on television? The ribbon on the wrist. Did you hear about that from other people? Why'd you do the thing with the ribbon?
I don't understand. I always know what I'm going to do before I do it.
Okay. Did you kill the others? Did you kill all of them?
Every one of them! I did it because I knew I was going to do it. I've killed millions. You're a coward.
Gee, he's bullshit.
I know he is. But the newspaper made such a fuss, the major wants us to jerk him off just to say we did.
Hey,
Oh, God.
God. For the love
no
of
gray
God.
van either. What? He doesn't have a gray van. No gray van. And he didn't call you on the phone either, did he? He didn't call you the first time. And he didn't call you the second. I did that.
You mortify me in front of my father?
And those pictures you got? I took those. And the missing guy? He's my second cousin. Because you lying motherfucker. You're as full of shit as I am. And you gotta live with it and play it out for as long as it goes, right? Trapped in the same lie. Only difference is I know why I did it. Fuck if I can figure out what gets you in the end. No, I'm a fucking joke. And so are you.
What a fucking shameful person.
Literally.
He walks. Of course he
He
does.
literally walks.
But like I promise you, his name is not his name. That's the only thing I can get.
Cheese and Monk are looking at up to 20 for the drugs. But there's gonna be no assets investigation, and you come home with all your money. If you stay in the game, they will.
That's everything he wants in
Right
life.
now, with an election going on, they're willing to give you a buy. But after November, if they even think you're still a player, they can take this case down off the shelf, and the shit in the case might not be enough to keep you free.
He's gonna figure it
You
out.
understand?
He would rather die.
Kiddo, you are gold mine to me. You know that? You've taken this law firm to a whole new level. You're a genius for what you brought me on this.
Just doing what I do, right? You need to know something, all you gotta do is ask. That's what a detective is, right?
Yeah.
You got.
You deny the others? He ain't exactly denying anything in there. I mean, he'll copy anything we damn please.
And go back and get it.
Excuse me?
If he's NCR, what the fuck is the difference if he cops to 2 or 6? Either way, they tie his arms and feed him green jello.
Sir, he did the last 2.
You are a cunt hair away from indictment, and you see fit to argue with me?
I did what I did, I know. Now I'm standing responsible for 2 fresh murders. I know what I've done here. I'm not doing this.
This is over, and all of our citizens can rest soundly in the knowledge that the man responsible has been apprehended by the diligent efforts of investigators.
Mr. Mayor, is he being charged with all of the murders or just 2?
It is my understanding that
We are charging the last 2 incidents, but it is my understanding that he is suspected in all of the crimes.
I am...
Oh, is there shame now?
Yeah, I don't feel so well. My stomach.
Me too.
I gotta go home.
It's so bad that you have something in common with him.
I appreciate your discretion, but right now we can't take our eyes off the ball when it comes to crime overall. Looking at your weekly UCRs from the districts, I am not seeing the kind of decline that's going to measure out to a 10% drop in a quarter.
They're clean. The stats are clean. Either we fix this police department and the crime goes down, or we don't, and the crime stays up.
Commissioner, we're talking about a little help.
So boring.
You're quiet on the homeless fiasco, but this makes you squeal? What?
Tell the mayor his debts will be clean before the election.
I can't let you do police work. Not anything that's gonna find its way into a courtroom. I won't do that.
They were literally like 2 of the best police.
Yeah.
Along with Punk.
So Marlo walks.
Or you go to jail. You lost the money trail, Lester, when you decided to start coloring outside the lines. This isn't on me.
I'm starting to connect.
How much, yo?
Interesting. To who?
10 million.
God damn.
Why you sell it? I mean, even from inside of here, you could take a slice from just laying in the cut, nigga.
Ain't gonna be in here long. Case they got against me already falling apart. But the truth is, I'm done with this gangster shit. Been there, done that.
You're something else other than a gangster.
Businessman. Yeah, told man I can't get that shit wrapped around my head neither.
What? What is he doing? What is
What? Supply only gonna deal with y'all after I make the intro.
What?
Yeah, I understand.
Thought Daniels was your boy.
We both got a problem if crime doesn't drop.
If he learns his place, well, he'll be offering to resign. Oh, he ain't the only one who knows how to play this game.
Is he gonna lose his job now? Is Daniels gonna lose his job? This is really ridiculous.
What do you say about this piece of work?
Who's dead?
Talk if I don't find myself without the right word. He as gifted a golden throat as any of you cocksuckers being loose from
Is it like
He died young. Too young.
40 years old. No,
Is it Jimmy?
Yeah, I was about to say.
34. Shut up. It's coming to me. He was the black sheep. Permanent pariah. He asked no quarter of the bosses and none was given. He learned no lessons. He acknowledged no mistakes. He was as stubborn a Mick as ever stumbled out of the northeast parishes to take a patrolman's shield. He broke no authority. He did what he wanted to do, and he said what he wanted to say. And in the end, he gave you the clearances. He's natural police. Yes, he was. And I don't say that about many people. Even when you're here on a fella, I don't give that one up unless it happens to be true. Natural police. But Christ, what an asshole.
The fuck that I do.
Here's his partner in crime.
Oh my god,
Oh my
girl.
god. Literally.
Yeah, this afternoon, 32 years.
Pension.
You know, don't call a man out his own way. Come on, Lester, come and snuggle. Our secret, Jimmy. I got your deal.
Gentlemen, to conclude, I say he gave us 13 years on the line.
Fucking song on,
Despite his negligible Irish ancestry, his defects of personality, inconstant sobriety, and hygiene. A true murder police. Jimmy, I say this seriously. If I was laying there dead on some Baltimore street corner, I'd want it to be you, standing over me, catching the case. Bullshit. Because, brother, when you were good, you were the best we had.
Shit, if you were lying there dead on some corner, probably Jimmy would that.
You caught the case, you'd be standing there sitting right here.
How did Maurice Campbell get it?
Oh, the...
You think it even matters?
Yeah, she had
She gave it
his
to me because
files.
She thought you'd listen to me.
So now they want me to go.
The way she expressed it is that she wanted you to stay if you could come to your senses.
Don't.
Come to my senses. He wants me to juke the stats for Cocketty this quarter and the next. Hide the crime, get him elected as governor, and make her the mayor.
So do it. Burrell juked them before you. Warren Frazier before him. So what?
So what?
I'll swallow a lie when I have to. I've swallowed a few big ones lately. But the stacked games, that lie, it's what ruined this department. I looked Cocketty in the eye. I shook his hand. I asked him if he was for real. Well, this is the lie I can't live with. If I do, then Nerisse has me in her pocket whenever she wants me. And I'm no good anymore like that.
Then go.
Yeah.
Withdraw for personal reasons or health reasons. Whatever. You got your law degree. You're not gonna starve.
Hey, I wonder where you was.
I didn't know if I should come out on this here.
Why the fuck not?
Was meeting toe dampers. I didn't want to do it behind your back, but it had to be done. Anyway, it's great being on the job, Joe. I just wanted to say that too, I guess.
So what? You ain't gonna drink with me?
I am if you want.
Detective? If you think it needed doing, I guess it did.
You coming?
I got 5.
What is gonna be happening here?
We still short 900.
I can go there, no time.
What? Motherfucker, where you get that kind of scratch?
You don't think Cheese know this here game? We all gonna be more than paid once we own the Connect, so.
Shit, nigga, we was good when your uncle had it. We had to go in and put up a Marlowe.
See that? See now? That's just the wrong way to look at it. Because Joe had his time. And Omar put an end to that. Then Marlo had his time, short as it was. And the police put an end to that. It's our time. Mine's and yours.
It's definitely not Jesus
But
time.
instead of just shutting up and kicking in, when it was my uncle, I was with my uncle. When it was Marlo, I was with him. But now, nigga,
Yeah.
That was for Joe.
He's like, we should have done this with Marlo when it came to it. I can't believe Cheese is dead. Just as I remember his face. You're a leaving girl. Good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
I just heard.
The Carroll County Bureau? That's how they punish me? Why not just send my ass all the way to Pennsylvania?
What'd they tell you?
That I did an excellent job. That this had nothing to do with anything but trying to make the county bureaus stronger.
Mom, I didn't tell him about the notepad. I left that part out.
I told him. When I heard you were in trouble, I went to Whiting. Told him I thought you were right about Scott. I told him about the notepad.
I just wanted to see something new every day. Write a story with it. You'll write your way out of Carroll in no time. Watch.
About as fast as you edit your way off the copy desk.
Glad I got to do this, Priest. Congratulations, Lieutenant Colonel. I'm just sorry I won't be able to serve you out there. Word gets around. It's on WBAL today. Said they're leaving for family reasons. I guess they got some kids somewhere I don't even know. This WBAL who they're sending up as acting commission.
Who's that?
I don't know.
There you go. Giving a fuck when it ain't your turn to give a fuck. Clean this blob was up.
That needs the OT.
Yeah, now you gotta shoot him with no wits.
It's so weird seeing him in normal clothes. Where are you going? Community shelter?
Hey, you remember me? I brought this guy in a few weeks back. Just
Oh.
wanted to see how he was.
He wandered out after a couple nights. Sorry.
Where do the homeless go around here?
Different places. Down by the river, over in the warehouse district.
10 years ago. Except the land's
Oh,
cheaper.
the port.
And there's more potential for mixed use because of the waterfront location.
There you are.
You can't put a price on a water view.
I hate them so much. Who is it? What are we seeing?
Harley's with them.
Andy, it's got to be Tommy, and they're leaving early, so let me borrow him for a moment.
Sure, no problem. Nice to meet you, Mr. Stanfield.
But kid, do not get in a room with him alone.
Is he gonna end up like Stringer?
Stringer, yeah.
Bathroom? Yeah, down the hall to the right.
Yeah, it seems to me like he's gonna end up with Stringer. Oh, Michael.
Don't do it to yourself.
Just like Omar.
Time to get that up.
Do you know who I am?
Name is Vincent. Used to be Marlo's bank, but Marlo ain't around no more. You still moving money for other players. So, I'm thinking some of that money need to be mine.
Shit, just a boy.
That's just unique. That's doing business, gentlemen.
So Omar got an AK, right? But he's surrounded. It's like 8, 9 motherfuckers up there and they all got knives. But he like, you all think
Fuck you looking at?
You, nigga.
Do you know who I am?
Nigga, you know who I am?
Not.
They don't know who you are.
Not smart enough to be a businessman. What's the saying? Not.
Not
to be
something for the streets
yeah.
and not good enough for the
Yeah.
businessman.
Yeah. Nobody knows who he is.
He literally said, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
And he was talking about Omar.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm fine with it. Because I was scared for a second there. I was confused when
He was like,
started talking.
"Yeah."
What?
He was like, "Yeah." I still got it. Still got fucking what?
You got nothing.
They're just gonna drain you.
Yeah.
Oh, you found him?
Oh, I thought it's Dever. No, it's gotta be something more, right?
I think. Oh, it's the montage.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
If you walk through the garden, you better watch your back.
I can't. Why? Why?
There's no. What did they say? It's not about what you deserve. I kind of don't mind, honestly, him being king. He does not die. Is he 90 at this point? Commissioner Valcha. I cannot believe this. Like, Oh my god.
I mean, I think this should not be allowed. Oh.
Let's go home.
They say you have to keep the devil way down in the hole, and we have Bobs coming out of the basement.
That was my favorite part, honestly. Robert.
I don't know. I can't believe it's over. Method Man, sorry cheese. Sorry for not knowing. Oh god.
It's a day later.
It is.
It's a room, different
Absolutely.
angle. For what reason? I don't know.
We're not quite sure.
It just happened.
We filmed the episode yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
And there was just, who could speak about it after just watching it? Not Milena when she was sick.
Honestly, I felt the worst yesterday, but like I felt the worst the day before.
Yeah.
And so I was like, we didn't film the day before because I felt horrible.
Yeah.
A bit sick, you know. And yesterday I was like, we have to film, you know. I don't know. I remember at one point in the beginning, I think as the episode progressed, I felt a bit better.
Yeah.
But I know in the beginning of the episode, I left the tea on the table.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't hold it. My hand was so fucking tired that like I couldn't hold it.
Yeah.
And that's how I filmed the finale of The Wire. But
it still hit.
It still hit. It still
that
made me
just
cry.
shows you how good it
made
is.
me cry, yeah. It was. I'm pretty sad. I'm very satisfied.
I cannot believe we're like filming the last review for The Wire.
Yeah.
It seems like we spent hours, days talking about this show.
I love this show.
I love it so much. I love the finale. I loved season 5. What a fucking show.
I just love the show as general.
Yeah.
I loved everything it stands for. I loved every message that it wanted to send. I loved every storyline that we had. Like, I don't think there is a single thing in the show. I mean, I didn't love what Jimmy did.
Sure.
But like I at the end loved how the story ended.
Yeah, but like it's not like we didn't love that because it felt
but like would I
off. It's just because we loved Jimmy, and so like it.
The thing is, would I delete the storyline? Yes, I would.
Sure.
I would delete the storyline
because of my love for him.
Yeah, I would just skip it.
Yeah.
But like I am not mad at the show because like again, like you said, it's not like it made.
None of it made sense. It just like I felt sad
which was
because
the most
like
important thing
a
for
character
the show.
I loved was doing things that I could not forgive. But like, you know, the storyline as it is, it makes sense.
Like
this is kind of how it went.
Exactly. I just again maybe, but I don't care. I want to say I would wish that it happened before maybe so that I had time to forgive him.
Yeah.
You know? And to completely, not forget it, but like to completely get over it.
Yeah.
Forgive him and not think about that at all when I see him, you know?
Yeah.
So like that's the only thing that like I wish maybe it was different, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
But like it's fine, you know?
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
I would maybe put
what?
Who cares? But like I would maybe put that storyline
in season 4.
Even before he went with BD.
Yeah.
Let's say, and that slapped the crap out of him, and that's when he went to BD. And again, I would finish the storyline the way that like season 3 storyline finished for him. That was my favorite ending of his.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
But it is what it is. at the end I'm happy with it. With
I mean, it
the
doesn't
ending.
taint anything for me at the end of the day, you know.
I agree.
I just think I just think the last episode was so well done. Like I really enjoyed it. I don't even know how to like start speaking about it. Like, do I fucking start speaking about it as a full story, as in the show? That seems just like such a hard task to do.
I don't even know what does it mean.
Like talking about everything that the show has said and done.
No, I think
for all those 5 seasons, it seems like a big task.
I think we talked enough about everything. I think you know, guys, all of our opinions because we talked for an hour after each episode, basically. I think we should first talk about the finale.
Sure.
Honestly, because like...
And how everyone's story wrapped up.
And how, how for each of our characters...
Where they went.
Yeah. Again, the story that like I'm most happy, most satisfied with is Bubs.
Always and forever, Bubs.
Yeah, nothing can compare to that. Like I could start crying just thinking about how happy I am that this is his story. I could start crying.
Did you read the comment?
No.
I didn't even fucking notice it. But wait, let me just tell you. It's kind of nice when like we don't post the review, we post the full.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I can see some other things that people have thought.
I didn't read the comments at all.
I did. The first comment, I'm sad. Me too. Me too. Cheech? I don't know, Cheech.
So sad now that I didn't read
I
the comments
know.
at all.
You should have. They're so nice.
I didn't have time.
You were feeling sick.
Yeah,
I understand that. Oh, this comment. Back in season 1, when Bubs was teaching the undercover cop how to look like an addict, he said his shoes are too clean because addicts' shoes are always dirty. And when Bob sits at the table in the montage, his shoes are bright white. I could cry a bit. I did not notice that. Did not pick that up. That's that's like 7 viewing time that you pick that up.
Yeah,
I could
feel
never
like,
fucking
or just
know
like
that.
read it and
and
realize
and someone
it. Like,
needs to like,
exactly.
But how nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, honestly, his story makes me the happiest. I think ever since season 1, that is a story that like I wanted for him so badly.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that we got it. And I just think that it has been perfectly done in this season. Everything. Yeah. Even now, I don't mind with like what he has survived because like, I mean, it served a purpose again for his character. You know?
I mean, season 4 really
destroyed him.
Yeah, I mean, they really knocked him down. Like, however much I thought that he like hit rock bottom before everything that happened with Sherrod, that just like we found a new rock bottom with that. You know, I didn't even think that was possible.
The most emotional part for me about the Sherrod is the fact that like made him not think that he is deserving of a good thing to be clean.
Yeah.
And things like that. That is my favorite thing because it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
But
that
like
guilt.
That guilt because he has killed the person basically, you know?
Yeah.
And of course not on purpose, not intentionally and things like that. Like he has killed the person that he cared for and that he took care of and he wanted to influence in some good ways. And at the end, he was the reason why that person died. And like that guilt made him feel like he does not deserve a good thing to happen to him.
Yeah, just like when he was reading this story, like why he was hesitant to have it published. It was not because like all of his like dirty laundry is being aired out. It was because like there was some good about it. There was some good in it about him.
That
he
was
like
my
didn't
favorite
feel
part.
kind of worthy of it.
He didn't think that he deserved good to be represented in a good light, where he does, of course, deserve that.
I just like what a great character from start to finish, and what a great story, especially in a show like this. You know, because he is kind of an anomaly. Like that is not a thing that is, let's say, most realistic. You know,
like it wasn't shown like a most realistic. It really when you finish the show, you feel like he is an anomaly. You feel like that, like
exactly. He is one of the so many few ones that are actually able to escape this world. You know, I think that's why his story just hits you so hard because like everything else, most of it, it's kind of like we are exactly where we were when we started the show, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of nothing changed in the environment that we are in. But like you have this character that you were following from the start, who is like really he has a good heart, you know? And he just, this is sort of the path that he went down on. And like you can say that it is like that he made a choice, but like I will always argue that with like what kind of choices that really any of these characters have in their lives.
I think the show did a perfect thing to show us these kids.
Yeah.
Who even like while you can say that let's say Babs maybe had a choice in season 1, but after watching Dookie's storyline, it's really possible to say that he has had a choice.
Yeah.
And that he chose this life. No, I honestly don't think that there is a possibility for either one, for Michael,
I just
for
think
Randy,
that was perfectly sort of said at the end of season 4 when Weebay, ridiculously so, said like if you can choose anything, who would ever choose this? Like who would ever choose this type of life?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And I think that's oh my God, however tragic it is to see these children go through something, but like that is the story that most of those children have, you know?
Yeah.
So like I just think it was perfect for a show to show it as it is.
Yeah.
And to show that these children don't have any choice and that these people became who they are because of their circumstances and where they are born.
Yeah, like with no fault of their own.
Exactly.
Really. And so again, to have Bubbles' storyline with everything else happening, it just hits very hard. And especially hits very hard because like he has been so like knocked down.
Yeah.
And like you see him struggling to be better, but like he's still doing it, and he is doing the absolute most. And like there is such bravery in that, you know, like it for everyone else it seems like ridiculous that he would not be able to see that within himself, but like because he carries so much guilt, of course he's never gonna do it. And like again, I think guilt in some doses can be like, let's say, a good thing as long as it doesn't consume you, in the terms of like this thing has happened, but like now you can live a better and like more meaningful life just by living life.
Yeah.
You know, I like, as long as it moves you to be good and to do good and to like give back, I think that's like, I think throughout the show what we have seen is that people that help and people that make the biggest differences are just regular people, are just really regular people that do the best that they can, and not even maybe try to do like now giving back to the community, but just like by being who they are, they can like influence people around them. You know, that's the thing that happens with like Cuddy. It's a thing that happens with like the priest. I think he had like a lot of real life Avon apparently. I think he had just like a lot of great influence for the people around him. Like, did I mention Cuddy?
Yeah, you were.
Okay. What is his name?
Bunny?
Yes, Bunny. Sorry. I thought I mentioned Bunny first.
No, you first mentioned Cuddy, but I thought you were going to mention Bunny in
just
my
because
opinion.
like when I have things in my mind, I'm not sure if I said it or if I just thought it
You were like,
and I was not
Cuddy,
sure.
priest, they mentioned Cuddy.
Let me just emphasize it again.
Which is understandable,
Yeah.
but
But
like
like
in my opinion, Bunny should be mentioned twice.
Exactly. I would agree with that. But like Bunny and like then people like Carver,
But
who
like,
was
yeah,
influenced by Bunny
Bunny,
and who I'm
exactly.
sure is gonna influence at least one other person. Like the people that make the biggest difference are never the ones that are in charge, because like what fucking difference does Carceri make? Zero. And so people like,
I mean,
Bubs,
many Carcadi
yes,
roles.
sorry, he influenced so many people just in the rules.
Yeah, but like I want to mention not just Carcadi, but like also roles, let's say, or Burrell, or anybody who is in charge.
Yeah.
And did not try to do anything at all, you know?
Yeah. Perez as well. In terms of like the good.
Definitely.
The good
definitely,
influence.
yeah,
Again,
definitely.
it's just about individuals who do their best and who don't think those things are like useless.
Yeah.
You know, just like I the line that was said like 2-3 episodes ago when we saw Bunny, when like he was speaking to Carcetti, when Carcetti was telling him something along the lines of like
So
things couldn't have been done, you know?
Exactly.
And then he just answered, well, I guess nothing could be done, because like that's the way that Carcetti explains himself.
Yeah.
And I really don't believe that. I think just by being who you are and trying to do the best that you can is like enough for this world.
I think that's my one of my favorite things ever in any show, if they show that like one character has influenced the other.
Yeah.
Again, you can influence one person, you can help one person. That's more than the most.
Yeah.
Honestly,
just because like it's so easy.
That's more than enough for you.
Because it's so easy to fall into that, and like I do that, I think often. It's easy to fall into that like doom and gloom about how everything is like so unfair and horrible, and nothing is about like who anyone deserves.
Yeah, but like deserves. Or like well, what can I actually do? Like I can't as a person, as
just
an
like because you
individual
can't
with
like
no power.
save the world.
Exactly, I can't actually do anything in the grand scheme of things. But like again, just influencing one person.
Because like Naaman's whole life is forever changed because he had luck that Bunny at that point just cared. Yeah. You know, like his life is forever changed. Yeah. And that is worth the world to me. Yeah. But again, like we started talking about Bobs. We just keep going.
Like thank you for mentioning Naaman.
I know.
My baby boy.
But again, for Bobs, I just think what an incredible character who has overcome so much and who is just the absolute, again, like kind of the antithesis of what has come out of this show, but like the most important thing. Again, I think we mentioned this in the episode, but like because it was the last scene was going and it was the opening song, and you keep hearing the opening song for the past 50-60 episodes that we watched, and like it keeps saying you got to keep the devil way down in the hole, and you know that is the devil are just the people, and like you keep them down and like not give them a chance to survive, and that's what they do. And I think there's something so poetic about Bobs going from the hole, which is like a basement, up the stairs and exiting.
Honestly,
what a good thing.
Yeah, I've been like throughout this whole season, honestly, that's the moment that I've been waiting for.
And you knew it's coming.
You knew it's coming, but like in that moment you kind of forget for a second, you know, like while the song was going, I didn't think like, oh, we're gonna see Bobs. The second I saw him again, I knew it was coming. I was just waiting for him, especially because the show made a point to have a few instances even in that episode where he's talking with open doors and his sister closed the doors in front of him, you know. Again, 100 times he said understandably so. I would never judge a person who has been in a contact with an addict, whose loved one has been an addict, you know, and has been God knows through what with them. I would never judge them for needing time.
No, and I think his sister has like really done so much for him while still setting boundaries for that her, that is, again, people should never feel guilty about that. Like you should take care of your mental health first.
But we knew that it was coming again, and the second one we see him that he's getting up, and the second we see that they are having dinner, you couldn't give me anything more. Honestly, that was my favorite part of the episode.
No, literally. What a beautiful story. Yeah. And like you kind of knew, I don't even know, like in season 1, maybe in season 2, whatever, as long as Bob's storyline was going.
I feel like immediately.
It kind of, he does seem like the type that is gonna be able to have this miracle kind of happen.
He's very kind. He's very good-hearted. That is the thing that you're hoping for the most for his character.
And again, the worst part is that there's so many good, kind-hearted people, kids, who are not gonna get this. Again, that's why he just got lucky. Like there's really nothing to it.
Honestly,
he just got luckier than most, just like Naaman got lucky. Like
that's what I want to say. But like I'm so grateful for this show for giving us those two storylines.
Yeah, again, you have to balance it out a bit. You know, for the things that they wanted to say, you know that like most of these storylines are not gonna end in this fairy tale, because like that is just simply not realistic and not like what the show wants to say. Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
Sorry, but like we have through show seen many characters being named and dying, being named and going to jail, being named and climbing up the ladder, being so like you have not seen one to get out on time, let's say, or like this early as a child. To have the opportunity, let alone to have a better life. Like him, he got that opportunity because of Bunny, but like we have seen many of those instances through Wallace, through Bodhi, through many of them who have had very tragic endings.
Like 99% of the characters.
That's what I want to say. I think that as well show portrayed very realistic.
I think I would usually, like, when shows start going into like this, like, again, let's say doom and gloom storylines where everything sort of ends badly, I am not the biggest fan of that, because like it always feels to me, are you just trying to make me feel bad, like because like you think that that's gonna like that emotional impact of me feeling bad is gonna like stick longer with me, like when you do shock values. I think Game of Thrones does that quite often, like that really made me annoyed. But like for this show, the way that it portrays things, much like a documentary, I feel like there is some responsibility to show things in this way, however much I want all of the kids and like all of everyone like to get a chance to get that happy ending. It is just not, it doesn't serve the purpose of what the show wants to show, which is like to really hit you where it's supposed to hit you. Like I cannot believe that anyone could watch this entire show and not come out of it as a more like empathetic human just by seeing what you see.
But like talking about those types of, that's why I really wanted at least one child to get their happy ending. Because it was too much for me. I will never forget the episode, season 4, episode 12. Was the last
13.
one 13? No, episode 12, when everything was horrible. I think that was one of the hardest episodes for me for this show, because for every single kid, everything was fucking horrible. It was so horrible, and at the end we get Randy, who gets beaten up. That was my limit, honestly. Like that was the worst, what you say, gloomy?
Doom and gloom.
That was the worst doom and gloom episode I have watched, honestly, at least in this show.
I mean, that was a rough one.
Honestly.
And like, as most of the things in like in season 4 were, but just like that episode were just like one after the other, and there was like really no stopping it. But again, the thing that I really appreciate about the show, and like why the messaging of it hits as hard as it does, is that it never really tried to give you that violence and shock factor that maybe I kind of was expecting going into the show, and like knowing that it's about like cops, and then we have like people on the street that are dealing drugs and everything. I think going into the show, I was expecting so much more like violence and torture. And I think early on when they killed Omar's boyfriend and like they tortured him, but like you don't see it. I think that's when I kind of understood that it's not going to be the show that does that. And like that made me feel like really grateful for it, because like sometimes, sure, those scenes can serve a purpose, but oftentimes I just think it's kind of a cheap way for a show to shock you, and this show really never did it. And whenever it showed you violence with a purpose, and I just think it's really one of the great strengths of this show.
Yeah, I agree completely.
What were we talking about?
I think we finished Bob's story.
I was like, how do we come to this?
I mean, that's this review is gonna be the last episode and the show in general as well.
Yeah, but again, just Bob's storyline. I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah. Let's continue.
With
a different storyline. Should we continue with Marlowe and like?
Sure.
Them again. I don't know. It's so complicated to talk about. No, like,
there's just so many
because
things.
like with Marlo starting to talk about the Rhonda and everything that happened and things like that. So in my mind, immediately it's complicated to connect all those things.
I know this is not gonna be we don't plan these things. You know what I mean? Like we could maybe write things down for this to have more structure, but like why would we? I feel like this is funner for everyone. You never know what we're gonna say. Sure, we can talk about Marlo and the ending that he got. Which Marlo walks away. Shocking.
But like, are you satisfied at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I think it's
I mean, in a way, they kind of left it a little bit open. Like, they gave you room to, like, based on, I guess, your opinion of Marlo, on where this is gonna go. On, like, where his, like, let's say now endeavor to try to just, like, be this businessman. Where that's gonna end
honestly, for me, like when I have an opinion about the character or the story, when they leave it open, I have a clear image. Like,
me too.
Like they could leave open for some kids, but like I'm gonna think that they let's say they could leave the open for Randy, and I could think potentially that he saved himself and found another pot, but like I realistically will know that that's not the case.
Yeah.
And I will know that this is, even if they didn't show us, that this is very bad for Randy. You know?
Yeah.
This is the case as well, where maybe they left it open, but for me it was pretty much closed. You know, for me he ended up pretty similar like Stringer. Honestly.
Yeah.
Where
just the difference, like a clear difference between him and Stringer, is he is the one that cares about his name on the street, which I think is his downfall, because like you see him again in the rooms with the important people, and like he has the money, he has resources, and so like you would think that like if he could play it smart, that he could be an important figure and could like set himself for life. But like his downfall is that like he left that room again to go on the street because like he needs like his name to ring out, and you hear what the people are saying.
Yeah.
And his name is kind of unimportant, while Omar's name is like they're creating this story about Omar, just that's like some type of like a mythical thing, you know?
That's what I want to say. Like the two of them are similar and completely different in some ways, but like similar in a way that they both couldn't escape, like let's say the street that they've been born into, you know?
Yeah.
Like just in different ways, where Stringer so much wanted to escape it, didn't care about having a name, didn't care about anything about being a gangster. He wanted the money, he wanted the title, he wanted to climb up.
He wanted to play with the big shots in a way. Like he wanted to kind of pretend that he is not from the street.
Yeah.
And so
but like he wasn't, because he was from the street, and that's he couldn't escape.
He couldn't
that.
fit in any of the
But
places.
like with Marlo, he potentially could have maybe wanted the business world. He had a lot of resources, he had the money, he had everything, you know?
Yeah.
And potentially he could have been good there, but like he again couldn't escape the street because that's what he cared for.
Again, I think that is gonna be his downfall. Is that he cannot let, if he could have let it go, I feel like he could have been he could be just a businessman.
Let's say he met the right people.
Yeah, but just like because the show shows you that he leaves this and still goes out on the street because like he has to exude that power and feel that power.
Feel powerful and punches.
Someone like that cannot, like that is his biggest weakness. So that's, and so like I feel good about that because
in my eyes the story is closed. In my eyes that's where why he's gonna fail completely and why he's not gonna succeed in any of the worlds.
Yeah,
because he will not be able to let go of this world that he cares for, that he lived in.
So that makes me feel good. And like all his like most trusted people are in jail for like many years to come. You know, so like he really does not have anyone even like behind him or anything like that. So like I feel good about his ending. I feel great about Cheese's ending as well.
I mean, that...
Exactly. Despise him. What a horrible human. Slim Charles is kind of get the new one with the crown, which is very... I don't know why I never thought of Slim Charles. I am pretty fine with that. I really like Slim Charles.
Me too. Even though we could have seen him in some ways rising with all of the throughout the seasons. You know, we could have seen that like he's next
nice
to
having some from,
Joe,
like,
or he's
Avon's
the
crew
Avon's
going up. He seems like a level-headed person. He seems like something like Joe.
Yeah. People are gonna trust him.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's gonna be, I guess, as fair as you could be in this like environment and everything. He always had a good head on his shoulders, I think. So I think that's interesting. And now they have a contact with the Greek. I mean, again, that ending montage about how just like everything's the same, the wheel keeps spinning, and nothing has really changed. You just have like
Greek is standing, listening. Nobody knows that it's Greek.
Exactly. And like Michael is Omar and Yuki is Bubs, and like so many of them are just the same as everyone else. So like really, there you can watch episode 1 of season 1, episode 10 of season 5, and nothing has really changed. There is like not a single thing in the grand scheme of things has changed.
Yeah.
Which like is how we always thought it was gonna end. It makes sense. But yeah, I mean, he walked free. I can talk about like the how he walked free, but I mean, we know. I don't think I can like add anything to it. I mean, he walked free, and Levi kind of walked free because of the way this investigation was done.
Who else?
You know, well, Levi, not Levi.
Who's that? Levy.
Okay. The fuck, I don't know why I said Levi.
Okay.
Levy. And which is like always a bad thing because of that, like because like they are using that so that their case does not get shown to the public, because like it would be really bad in terms of like the optics of it. Now all those lawyers who are just doing all these awful things can just get to
but again, I think
anything.
That's nicely represented, because it is.
I mean, no one expects anything else. Really.
It is complete reality. It is something that happens. Everybody is getting dirty there, you know.
Everyone just like, you know, Rose is getting a promotion because like he is gonna keep quiet, and it's like it's a constant thing. This one keeps quiet.
The thing I really loved is Daniel's. Honestly, in this episode, I really liked his storyline. I'm glad that that's where his story from season 1 went. We talked, I think, during this maybe or the previous season about him.
Yeah.
And how we liked him in the beginning.
Yeah.
But there was always that part that like he was covering for his people and things like that. That he, he never was one of our favorite characters at all, you know? And through this show, you see him, you always see that he has maybe some fine opinions.
Yeah.
And there are some, because like he always wants to get the bad guys, let's say, you know, and he pushes for his guys. Those are the qualities that I really like for him, you know.
Yeah.
But like he was always trying to climb the ladder as well, you know. Somehow it always worked for him, you know. And that's why I really, really like the storyline where he was not okay with what happened.
Yeah. I think the thing with Daniels is like from the get-go you see that he is a decent human, you know? You see that his heart is in a good place, and that he is like someone, let's say in the realm of like Bonnie, even though like no one is like Bonnie, but like he is, you know, he is just. I think that's why like so many of the characters that we love have done like bad things, and like it was maybe more easily forgivable for me, and for some reason I always clung on to Daniel's covering for Perez and everything. I think it's just because like he had that nature that like you feel like he is a really good, decent guy and is gonna do the right thing, and like I kind of always wanted to expect that more from him than from most people. And like it's just like I feel like I always just remembered that, and like it left a stain in my mind, you know, from the things that he has done. But just like everyone kind of else, he hopefully, you know, learned. I mean, he was never again in this position for me to judge how he would react now in this position again. If one of his officers did something like the police does to just exude power, maybe it's even too much to ask apparently of everyone to like discipline that. I'm still not sure if that would be the case. We didn't have it later on, but like it seemed like at some point he just did not want to let's say, walk over his morals and the things that he thinks are correct.
But like he also was sacrificed his career.
Yeah.
That was in a peak.
Yeah.
Because
he was rising,
he was pretty much rising with Carcetti.
Yeah.
But like I loved the fact that like the reason why he started rising pretty much is because he thought that Carcetti was different.
Yeah.
But like with that, he could have been just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Accepting of the fact that he's not different. Accepting of the fact that
he easily could have been a Burrell if he wanted to.
In my opinion as well.
Just
so
like juke the stats.
Yeah.
Do what they want from you. He easily could have fallen into that.
Yeah, but like I am so happy that like in the last episode he said like I asked him if he was for real.
Yeah.
And he wasn't.
Yeah.
And now this is what destroys our apartment. This is the thing that like is rotten in our department, you know?
Yeah.
And why we're never gonna achieve, the police is never gonna achieve anything actually good.
Yeah.
And I can't stand with that.
Yeah.
And I honestly really liked his ending, which is very interesting because like for him and for Kima, those are two characters that like I stop liking. Again, that's such a strong word, but like I never cared that much. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah.
I cared in season 1 a bit, you know. I was interested in season 1, and then somehow they became much less interesting because we had Avon, we had Omar, we had
Bunny,
season 2,
Kari,
we had
so
exactly. Like
the
they were not that interesting to me, not that important. Like I stopped caring for Kima. I even started disliking her, you know.
Yeah.
And I am very happy with how their storylines ended, both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could talk about Kima now since we started it. I loved her storyline this season. I am just really happy about it. But just because like I did, like it was very difficult to watch that in season 4, was it? And 3?
I think season 3.
Yeah. It was just like very difficult to watch her treat her girlfriend and like their future child the way that she was and the things that she has been doing. Like it was just like, I mean, how are we even supposed to like her at that point? And so like for this season to just like show you her growth, that like she wants to have this relationship with this kid, like even though like she knows that she is not maybe the person, not at the right headspace to like settle down or like do anything like that.
Or maybe even that Cheryl, is it Cheryl? Cheryl was not the one that like she wanted to settle down with, but like again, when she decided to have a child with Cheryl, that's where she made a commitment towards that child. That when the responsibility towards that child was there.
Yeah.
And she couldn't just walk away from that.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the most important part for her character for me. That she realized that like her relationship with Cheryl was not the main thing that she can focus on. That's like just about leaving, that like she has this obligation that she has to take care of, be a part of.
Yeah.
She has this child that she needs to take care of. And so like I am so happy that she understood that at the end,
that she found like joy in that like she really wants to spend time with her kid, you know. I just think the kid is gonna grow up with so much love. Like he basically has 3 parents, you know. And like that makes me really happy. It makes me really happy for her storyline that it went there, and like it makes me even happier that at the end she talked, that she told the truth about the people that she worked closest to, just because it wasn't right, you know, just because like she had the situation that she could not support and it wasn't right what was being done. And even though like everyone was happy because the case got solved and like she didn't need to do it, like she could have just like stayed quiet and let things like run its course. She decided not to, and I respect that so much, because like it wasn't from any benefit of her own. It was just because like she sees this thing that is not a right thing,
and she even did it to her friend. it was not just like a colleague.
Well, that's what I mean.
It
Like
was
the
even
people that
closer,
she
like,
worked closest to.
the closest to, that
Yeah.
she had a relationship even besides the work. And I even like more how that person reacted to finding out that she was the one who tattletaled
Yeah.
on him.
Oh, that was such a good scene. I'm gonna cry again.
Loved it.
I mean, we're gonna go back to that scene where we like talk about Jimmy, I guess. But like, you know, she showed up late and she was like, I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to be here because like, you know, they might be mad at her. And like, I really in no way did I think that they were gonna be mad at her. Like, in no way, because like they're not delusional about the things they do, you know. And like, she said it that like I really appreciate her for even like saying it, you know, to them, for like standing her ground. Like, yes, I said it.
Yeah, standing her ground, but also telling them that in their face, because like, again, they are her friends.
Yeah.
I mean, not they.
Let's say that's what she owes them.
Yeah.
Like, I told. Like, you can know here, I told.
Yeah.
About the two of them.
And loved that Jimmy was just like, well, if you think that that's what you needed to do, then that's what you needed to do.
Because like he trusts her judgment.
Yeah.
And like he agrees with her.
Yeah, he agrees.
He agrees. Like, she did the right thing then and there.
Yeah.
I just really, that was such a great scene and such a great way to like finish her storyline. I mean, her storyline finished with her going to like a body and doing her job, and like Bunk telling her, here you are giving a shit when it's not your turn to give a shit.
Yeah.
She's sort of like a combination of Jimmy and Bunk, you know, in best ways possible. Like, she's always been one of the best police, you know, just like a natural born police, and this is really what she is good at. And so I just really love that is how they ended her story. I thought it was so great. And
then I think we can talk about the Jimmy. That was like one of my favorite things about this episode, after Bob's, let's say. I am very happy how it ended.
Me too.
I mean, I am happy that I am able to feel satisfied with his ending.
I just think throughout the show he has been like one of my most loved characters, one of my favorite characters.
I mean, he stayed that.
Yeah,
he definitely stayed that.
I'm not talking like previous term as in like something changed. Like, I'm talking like just because we finished the show.
But like, is your top 5 still the same? I don't remember who we top.
I don't like. I know it's Bunny. Bodhi, Bubs, Jimmy, and
we didn't.
Omar.
Did we put Bubs?
I mean,
I think I put the Avon in that moment.
Sure.
But like, I want to put
I mean,
Bubs.
this is but like this is again, I can make a list because like there is a difference between like,
I think those
who I love most and then who were like maybe the most interesting characters, because like I don't love Avon.
But like, I
the
think
way I
those
love Bob
6 characters
left the most impact.
Left the most impact for me for this show.
I agree. Yeah. The 4 kids left the biggest impact, but like I'm not like including them in like the characters we had from the start. Like, those 4 are like a story of their own.
Yeah, because the show is so complex. And all these characters, let's say, those kids, we watched their story, and it was the most tragic one that there is. But you know, like, let's say Jimmy as a whole character can compare to them. You know, Bodhi in some ways represent those kids. Like, represent all 4
you know
of them.
Who like I need to put in my top, and I like I don't know if other people care as much as I do, but like Dee. I felt so much love for Dee. Like, that he died 4 seasons ago, and like I still feel that love that I felt for Dee. So I need to put him somewhere up there with them. But yes. So like, nothing really changed
for me either.
Nothing really changed.
That's top 6 in this scenario.
I mean, those are like, I think, characters that are gonna like stick with me from this show.
Definitely.
And I guess that's why like the Jimmy part in this season really was rough to watch, because like he was a character that like I really loved despite all of his flaws. And like, he had plenty flaws. I was reading last night, because like now it's fun to be able to like type in the show that you watched and like see other people's opinions. at the end, and like people really dislike Jimmy. Like I read so much about how he really does not care about anything or anyone. He just cares about himself. And like while he is selfish, you know, and he does like care about himself, I think the reason why I gravitated towards Jimmy is like, even though he was all those things and he was selfish and he thought he was the smartest one in the room, and he always felt like so many people were like below him, he had those like not great characteristics. I always thought that like his heart was in a good place and that he cared. You know, it would be hard to convince me that like someone who like drove when it was not even their work day to like get names of the girls. It's kind of like you cannot convince me that he did not care at all.
I feel like the show showed us many times that he cares.
Yeah.
Even with the many times sentencing, like giving a shit when it's not your time to give a shit.
Yeah.
Like tells you that he cares. He's maybe gonna cross some lines. He's maybe many times gonna cross other people.
Yeah.
But
like sometimes he does that because he wants to prove something about himself.
Yeah, that's many times. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's
a lot of
times.
A lot of times, but like he always cared. If someone asks me, like that was my read of his character, which is why, like even when he was being an asshole, like all those things to me, I could like move past, because like I always thought that his heart was ultimately in the right place, and like he had this sense of like justice and right and wrong, and like he never like.
There is one thing about him that like I will never completely 100% get past.
Yeah.
Is constantly being blacked out drunk and drive.
Yeah.
Like that is the thing. Like I remember even when I felt the love and felt the care.
Yeah.
Like it was in front of that.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't have gotten past that. Like I really hated him for that, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. And he did it often.
He did it much.
He really did it often.
Yeah.
And so like this season, watching him do these things and sort of feel like he didn't care about.
I mean, he didn't care enough.
Yeah,
not like
because like I mean, you saw later that like there was like guilt and he felt a certain way about it.
Yeah.
You know, like it was still very hard to watch him do that, and like it was very hard in those moments not to hate him, because like.
Yeah.
Hate for me arises when I love someone, you know, like if I didn't love you, I mean, sometimes it arises when I just like, you know, there's light. I hate him just because I hate him.
Or when a person does something to the person that we really love.
Yeah.
That's I think.
Yeah.
But like again, it's because of some type of love towards somebody else.
Yeah, like you know, the opposite of love is hate. You know?
Yeah.
And so it was difficult to watch him in this season, just because like I really loved him. But like I'm very happy with the way that his story ended.
I mean, it ended in the best possible way for where his character was before that, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't think that like I wasn't even sure that like I'm gonna get watching this season. I wasn't even sure that like I'm gonna get to a point where I am able to feel happy for him, where I am able to feel satisfied with any type of ending of his, if it has any type of happiness, you know what I mean? If I see him smiling after what he did, to me, I wasn't honestly sure if I'm, because that is because I loved him so much and I got disappointed so much.
Yeah.
And then it's even harder for me to forgive a person that like I trusted in a way, even though this is a fictional
like it feels like betrayal.
Like, it feels literally betrayal towards me.
Yeah.
That he did something like that when I know like, he cares about the other people.
Yeah.
And then he does something like this and smiles about it. That was, and is able to shut his feeling, to shut the guilt, to hurt another human being. That was again, I could have much easily forgiven if he didn't take that poor guy. If he did it just like to even though that's also really fucking worse. Even though he did also fuck up with lives of living of other humans with making up this story about serial killer, but like it felt different to me than seeing him fuck with somebody who is
really struggling,
not able to take care of himself.
Yeah, and like
not
using
able
that.
not able to do anything against what Jimmy is doing, to defend himself in any possible way.
Yeah.
And he used that in his leverage, and used the fact that, like, we should stop talking honestly about this, because I'm gonna get
mad.
Again, I am so happy that he went back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that he was able to realize how far he has pushed it. He has, like, he said, I mean, that to beat it, like, he thinks that he is doing this good thing and, like, trying to be, like, this hero, and then he actually looks around and realizes that he's the villain that has done this, that sort of went against the things that he believes in. I was happy when he didn't want to pin all the murders on the guy.
I was
and just
happy.
like
and I love
do the last two.
I love what he told Scott as well.
Oh my god, that was so good.
That scene.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things that he said to Scott applied for himself as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that is also that he...
I mean, that's what he was like saying. I know, because like you're an asshole and so am I.
Like, I am the same person.
Yeah.
Like, but like, I love that, like, he's aware of that.
Yeah.
But like, he did make a difference between him and Scott.
Yeah.
Where he said, like,
at least I know why I was doing this.
At least I know that, like, I did it in his eyes for a good cause.
Yeah.
You know?
Where like he had a reason.
Where Scott has a reason, but like, he's doing it only for himself. He wants to rise above. And he did at the end, you know.
Yeah,
he managed what he wanted to, you know.
Yeah.
But like, Jimmy's, that's a bit of a difference between Jimmy and there's a bigger difference, but like, that is a difference why I love Jimmy, you know.
Yeah,
because he is not doing everything for himself. He
has never done things to rise up.
I don't know what Rolls told him, you got paid for it. He's like, I don't care about the money. And that is the truth. He does not care about the money. He does not care about solving this or doing that, you know. He cares.
The thing that he cares about that is like, let's say, selfish, is about like proving that he is smarter than everyone else. Like that is the thing that he like cares about. And I think now I can't really even remember what he said in the episode, but like there was something that he said that like made me feel like he said something that sounded like that he is not special as he thought he was. And I don't know if that was in this episode, maybe in the previous episode, but like there was something that I thought, okay, like you are acknowledging that as well
in this episode,
you know?
Maybe even in the scene with Scott. I don't know, because like, I'm thinking where he could have said that. You know, I can't remember. Really, I think potentially in the scene with Scott, honestly.
Yeah, some scenes that I will most remember from this show do come from Jimmy. Like one of the scenes that like really stays with me for the whole purpose of the whole show is when he was talking to Rhonda, when he was telling her, because like I can now remember what she couldn't do, because like if she did it, then she couldn't get like higher up or something like that. And he said like if everyone cared less about just like moving up in the world and like putting their hands in each other's pockets, and maybe some things would be able to get done. And that is like a constant thing that you see happening. People are just like
with every single one of the storylines that we're talking
with the
about.
Police and the politicians.
I was about to say, because like even with Carcetti.
Yeah.
On top of it, you know.
I mean, Carcetti has quite literally like
embodiment of that.
Like refusing.
Yeah.
Like refusing to do the good because he needs to become governor.
Yeah.
You know, he is quite literally doing that to advance himself further up.
And the show, I love how show showed him throughout this whole season what he's choosing constantly and what he's giving up, and how he's not willing to help people because it's gonna affect him. And at the end of the day, how he did become governor, because to succeed in the world, you have to be corrupt and you have to choose yourself. I mean, to succeed in their world, in politics, you have to be corrupt and you have to choose yourself over the people that you should be serving, you know?
Yeah, like it's an inherently selfish thing.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of the people entering politics, I mean, maybe they enter it for good reasons, but eventually it all stems down to some very selfish reasons. you know.
I agree. Because like we even saw with Carcetti throughout the show, even in the beginning and all of that, and we talked about like he had his red flags, like having his friends talk about things the way that they did, and being surrounded with those type of people and things like that. But like whenever he would say something, you heard that like he has some nice opinions that you would potentially agree with, you know. You saw throughout the show with, let's say, Bunny, how he was able to understand where the faults in the system are and what was able to be done potentially about, and what was that thing, let's say that in general, but like many others, you know, with school systems and things like that, how he was able to understand how he was able to do something, or anybody was able to do something, but still chose not to. He still chose himself and his career over everything else, over the people.
I mean, I think I think to me that is more evil than just like if someone is of a let's say, because like if I sat down to opposite from Carcetti and like we went through like maybe our opinions about certain subjects, I feel like we would agree on many things, you know. And so it is worse to me that someone like that, who knows what the right thing to do is, has the power to do the right thing and still chooses to do the wrong thing. Because like, let's take for example, I don't know, sure, I literally sure,
because like I think
from
that's
the get-go, like he is of an opinion that I would not agree with, you know, and like he's just going with his opinion, you know.
Do I think he connects.
I mean,
things
I don't think
right,
there's anything
wrong.
happening in his mind. I think like it's just like, honestly, there's air.
But like
in between his ears,
he was able to get to this power to affect many people.
I mean,
you know, to beat the kids, to do millions of things, you know. Which is horrible and which is evil that he was able to do something like that and not suffer any type of consequences, you know. But again, I agree with you. In that case, I would agree that like it's even worse.
It's
the
worse
other
for
opposite.
Me. It's worse for me when like you
Carcetti
have the
part
right...
when he is able in his right mind, he's able to understand
what the correct thing to do is and choose not to do it. I think I just think because like I you know, I saw comments of people being like something along the lines of like he entered this with like good intentions and then just like this is the way that the world works, but like he is the one that actually chose to make it keep working that way, because like for so many characters in this show, I can say that they did not have a choice.
I agree.
And I cannot say that for Carcetti. I cannot say that Carcetti did not have a choice. He had a choice and he chose this way. And to me, I really view that as evil. I can muster no empathy nor understanding.
I mean, understanding. I honestly can't
it's not confusing. I can just like never be able to relate to
it. But like it's very easy to understand, and like it is reality we live in, and I love how the show represented. I love the ending. I love that he became governor, because people like that are gonna succeed.
Oh, absolutely.
People like that are gonna decide about other people's fate, and that's why it's so fucking scary, you know? And dangerous. But like it is really a reality we live in every single day.
I mean, to continue with Jimmy, because this was all about Jimmy. We just like put a bit in. Another one of his scenes that again, to me, just always showed that he cared was when he went to talk to Dee's mom and like basically called her out for the fact that he is dead. And that like she is the reason that he is dead. Because like she made him not talk and he could have gone free. Those are the scenes that like had a lot of impact on me, along with his scene, but this was more for Bodhi, the last scene of Bodhi and him talking before Bodhi died. Like those are some scenes that like really are gonna stay with me. from the show, and like he was in a lot of those. One of my favorite scenes in the last episode was his like wake. After like getting fired, he got that last case, and I think I really thought that was poetic, that like he really figured it out in like 2 minutes. And Banku, like, there's no fucking way that you got it right in 2 minutes, and he did, because he does pay attention, and he remembers like those cards. Like, imagine someone like Herc, if he had ever seen those cards connecting dots, that would not be a thing. But like for his last case, he managed to like solve it in a heartbeat, just to show you that he was really good natural police.
I honestly loved what Jay
that was so
said
good
about him. I really loved that, because like I had no big opinion of Jay,
Yeah.
And Jay and Jimmy had their differences and things like that, because again, Jimmy really wants to solve the case, really wants to do the job.
Yeah.
Where
and he doesn't get the funding, he doesn't get so many like open doors to solve cases.
Where with Joyce, it seems like he accepted things, and he enjoys things the way he accepted things the way they are.
Yeah.
And he completely, I don't know the word that I want to use.
I mean, he's just not a cog in the machine. Like, he's not fighting against it. He is just complicit. And
and he is enjoying not being in position that he has to work.
Yeah, I mean, like, he is better than most. Let's say he is not really getting his hands, like, let's say, dirty. He is just like vibing, He does not really make a lot of the decisions. He just like,
but like he's complicit, like,
but like all of them are,
completely the same. He's not doing anything against it. Like, I have no good opinions about him, except that he had some funny scenes in the show, but like that's pretty much it. But like I really love what he said about Jimmy, because that is something that like I think we all can agree with, you know, like with everything that he said.
Yeah, that like if his body was lying on this and this tree, that like he would want Jimmy to be the one
who finds it,
and to solve it, because he is that good. Because
no matter like what he does and how he behaves or anything, he is real police.
I just like there was such a funny scene, just because Bunk said, if you're lying dead on the street, it's probably Jimmy who did it. That was so funny. I don't know, like that scene just like really felt, for the last episode, for like that it's ending, felt like a very nice scene for Jimmy's character to sort of like wrap this whole thing up. And like whatever you can say about him, he was really good at his job. And like with so many flaws that he had, and with sometimes putting his own selfish nature above a lot of things, I still believe that he cared, and for the most times his heart was in the right place.
I agree. But like another thing that explains Jimmy, and that his describes Jimmy perfectly, the scene, and his selfish nature, is the scene where Kima, where we found out that Stringer is dead. Before Jimmy was able to get him.
That was the most personal thing.
And I think that is also another one of those scenes that describes him, even though it's in a negative context. In this case, is the scene where she says how Jimmy reacted like he was a kin.
How did Jimmy take it? Like Stringer was kin.
Honestly, I think that there is also the scene that like I will immediately think of when I think of Jimmy. Because that is his selfish nature. When where he wants to show that he's best and he can solve and he can get you.
Because like Stringer evaded him at the end of season 1, and so like he needed that to get done. And again, for most times, I agree with Jimmy. Let's get it done. Let's get Stringer. I can't argue with it. The only thing I could ever argue with, honestly, mostly was season 5. Like that is
and drinking and driving.
Sure. And those are like smaller things, but like for plot-wise purposes, like season 5 was the first time I was like against him actively.
Where I said basically, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about him having a happy ending.
Literally. But like he, there was some, I guess, positive indications that he, decided to leave the bar at a normal time and go to Beatty. And like they were just sitting there, and like Beatty leaned on him, and kind of that's where that storyline finished, with this like possibility. Because like now he is not working this job. I have no idea what job he's gonna work with, but I do think like that this job is the thing that like can bring the worst out in him, you know. And like we saw that in season 4 when he was not in Homicide, when he was just like in Western or whatever, he was just a really decent person, and like he really functioned well. But like just like we compared it kind of to an addict, when he is in it, he is just really consumed by it, and he's gonna do these things in order to get some type of an outcome. So I think away from this environment, I think he is able to be a really decent human and like a decent partner and like father.
Yeah, but like for his character, it is in my eyes left open.
Yeah,
because let's say again, if it ended in season 3, I would feel completely hopeful.
Yeah,
for his future, and Beatty's where, and now when it ended, you know, I'm still hopeful. It is still open, but like I always know there is a possibility of him wanting to go back.
Yeah, relapsing.
Yeah, because like again, even though I agree with you, and I think for his character and his future and him as a human, this is the best that can happen to him.
Yeah,
you know,
possibility
that he doesn't even have a possibility to ever go back to work.
Yeah,
that is the best thing. For him to happen.
Yeah,
because otherwise.
That will always be a possibility of him.
Even though I do think that he realized, at least that's what I chose to believe, that he realized how wrong he has done.
Yeah, because like I mean, he has pushed it too far at this point. You know, like season 5 was really a rock bottom. And like it did end with him going to search for the guy. I mean, there was also like a detail because of the thing that he did. You know, there was a homeless man like on the street when he was walking away from his wake that was like begging, and he stopped to give them money. You know, like that is again to show you the, I guess, guilt that he feels for the things that he has done. And he you know, he went to find the homeless guy to like bring him back to finish that off. Again, that is a thing that I'm always gonna love in Jimmy, is that he did so awful in season 5 that you can't even justify it. You really can't. No. But like by the end, you know, he feels guilty enough. He has a consciousness to go and mend that thing and to bring him back. I have no idea where he is even taking him. Is he taking him maybe to his parents? I don't know. But like at least he is doing something right. And that's the way that his storyline finishes. Yeah. And like I feel very at peace about it.
Me too.
Like I can think about Jimmy and still feel that love.
Yeah, definitely.
And like that's kind of what I wanted after this episode, you know.
Season,
yeah, because like it was rough. It was a fucking rough one. But like I got it. So I feel good about that.
I feel good about every single story and the way it ended.
Really? Dukey.
Makes sense.
I know.
Like I can feel. It just makes sense.
I know. Just like you said, feel good.
I mean,
really?
Yeah, feel good about the writing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Even Michael, I mean, that's not a good story,
of
course. Know? But like, I feel good about it. I feel good.
But like, my God, I really didn't, like I just expected, I think we talked about that in the intro, I just expected that we're gonna see Dukey, how we saw him at the end in that montage, kind of just, you know, doing drugs. What I did not expect is to see him go to Perez.
Oh yeah.
That was like kind of a nail in the coffin, you know, because like I remember last season, the finale, I was editing that, and one of the scenes that really just like really was difficult for me, and it's difficult again, was when he went to school. Like even after he, like, you know, we saw him not enter high school and everything, he went back to school to see Perez, to give him like a Christmas present. Like he put it in a Christmas bag. And that was like so sad to me, because like, again, he is someone who has so little, and here he is coming to like give Perez like this present for his table, because like Perez meant something to him. And it was such a sad scene for me, because like, you know, where he is heading, even at the end of season 4. And so like to round that up now, with him coming to like take the money, and like Perez kind of knowing and understanding what he's giving him money for, and understanding that after this he's not really gonna see him again, because like Duke is gonna be basically in a way lost to the streets. Like that just really, I don't even know what to say about that scene. That just really was heartbreaking.
It was a great story that like the writers decided to mend those stories together, or like to go back to Perez.
Yeah.
It also show us the way that like Perez is talking to other kids.
Yeah,
and,
like you see
close
how
his story as well.
Yeah, you see how much he has learned, and what an influence he is to these kids, because like now they listen to him, you know, and now they like see him as some type of an authority, and like how far he has come. Like I really
love that.
Yeah, I think he had one of the best stories of the show, which like really, if you told me that in season 1, that would be so fucking funny to me. I would like legitimately never believed you.
I mean, I did think in some ways, like when we saw how much he's learning from Lester, but like this is much better than what I expected.
Yeah, I mean, like Perez also has one of the scenes that I will
always forever.
Yeah, remember most often when I think about this show.
Yeah, me too.
After he shot the police officer, and like I was it Daniels that was talking to him, or was it Lester? I don't know. And like they were.
I think it was Daniels.
I think it was Daniels.
100%, because like Daniels at the moment came to him to tell him what to say, what the deal is, and he's gonna be fine. Basically, something like that.
Yeah, and like he was. Perez said something along the lines like, I didn't even like, because like they were saying that this could be like potentially
racial thing.
Yeah, and like he said something along the lines like, I didn't even like notice if he was black, or maybe I did. Like I don't know.
I just love the way that he said it.
Yeah.
Because like he said, I didn't even notice, but like then he thinks to himself that he's not sure.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that is a very important thing. To say, especially in the world we live in.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Because like a racism is not, oftentimes it's not like a loud thing.
I think it's even more times.
I agree. And like someone like him to be like, who doesn't necessarily think like he doesn't see like, let's say Lester is different than anyone else. But
I don't
like,
think he sees Lester.
No, I don't. But like he mentioned that he doesn't even know if he has some like prejudices within him, especially because he is in the police department that deals with neighborhoods that are predominantly like black and brown.
Yeah.
And so like maybe that like gives him a skewed image. So he said that he cannot even be sure.
Yeah.
That like he didn't pull the trigger at that point because like he saw a black guy and his mind resonated that with something bad.
Yeah.
You know? Again, that is the scary thing about racism. It's because it's not just like a guy screaming like the N-word at you.
Yeah.
Like that is not a, you know, I mean that can happen, but like more often than not, it is just those like eternal prejudices that maybe like you don't even think that you have.
Exactly, but like can be so dangerous in many instances for many people.
I mean, like you see for Perez, because he is the one that held the gun. You know,
exactly.
I think that was a very important thing for the show to say. You know, and like
I agree. That's one of my favorite things that's gonna stick with me.
Yeah.
I think there is many things that are gonna stick with me for this show after watching it. I honestly think that, and I wish everybody could watch this show and would watch it.
I really struggle to like think of any more important show than this one. Like I really don't.
I agree.
I really cannot give you one that did the things that this show has done, and like who tackled so many issues.
I even feel sorry that like it's ending, and like because there is so many more issues to tackle with, you know, that I don't even know. that I don't even think of. Because like I have learned so much during this show about things like I don't see it street, I don't think about often, you know, unless I read it in the papers or things like that, you know.
I mean, I think,
but like for example, even let's say Workers, like season 2,
the dog workers,
that's a thing like I would never think about. I would know nothing about, you know. So like you can just imagine how many more stories
there is to say. I think that is really the power of television. And like I think growing up, I feel like in a lot of ways I like personally was raised by TV, you know, because like where we live, like we live in the Balkans, like it is a predominantly white Orthodox Christian a country where it's still not like safe or normal, okay, whatever, to say that you are not straight, you know, like we live in a very secluded place, and it was like even more so that when we were younger and growing up,
much more so.
And so like a lot of the things that I have learned, I learned by seeing it on shows, just because like that was not my like day to day. Like I go out and everyone looks the same way as I do, you know. And so like I remember like being, I don't know, was I like 11, 10? I don't know. And like I was watching, we had this channel, it was like called Fox Life or whatever. And like it had different shows that I would like watch. And I remember like seeing the L Word. And like that was my first, I think that was like my first introduction to like gay people existing. I was like, oh, you can do that.
I think I heard of it before, of course, but like I mean, before
I really can't remember if I heard about it.
No, I'm not saying before 11. Definitely did not know what word gay meant at 11, 100%. But like I heard of it in my day-to-day life, but like as a negative thing, you know. And honestly, my first introduction to gay people potentially could be with Grey's Anatomy and Kelly. Honestly, I think that was my first
because like I didn't watch the L Word. I just like saw it when I turned on TV, and then like I saw something, but like I didn't watch it. But I watched
like,
Grey's.
Can you just imagine how old I was back then? Because like I have watched Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, you did that in high school.
Third year of high school, so like I was maybe 17 at that point, and that was my first time watching anybody that was gay. I mean, part of the LGBT community.
I like that happened to me much younger, because like I was watching Grace kind of as it was going, and like I think that storyline of Callie, let me just check. It was season 4. Wasn't it 5?
4, I think.
I think it was 5, because like that's
4, 100%.
Let me see. That was 2000. That was not 2005, definitely. That was 2009. So that would mean I was like 14.
No,
I was what?
13.
13. I was 13. I think that was like the first story that I watched, like the progression of it, you know, and like I think a lot of my capability of empathy did come from just like watching these stories of people that like maybe I can't relate to, but like that you can see the struggles of what they would face. And like I never, like growing up again in an environment where like I went to middle school and like people would say really awful and mean things about it, but like because like I had watched characters like Callie, and like in my mind I was like, well, why is that bad? You know, I could never understand, I could never resonate with it. And like I think that is really the power of television, that like it can open so many doors for you to see things that you don't necessarily see, maybe especially when you're younger. Because like now that I'm older, like I learn by reading much more than like I learn by watching. But like with this show, I think like all of these things, like in a way, you know, and like you see so much police brutality happening, and especially revolving with like Black and brown people, but just like seeing it told in such a way where you also have like you're following also the police department, you're following the politics of it, and you're following everything,
but you're also following
the streets
as well, which is in my opinion very important. And
again, like it just gives you such kind of a gift to be able to see into the world where like you really don't relate. Like I mean, I'm a white straight person. Like I can't relate to a lot of the things that I watch, but like when you see it, you can very easily empathize. And I think like that is really, again, the gift that this show gives you, is to tell this storyline in a way that I can't imagine anyone who maybe even entered the show having a certain opinion about people who, like, let's say, live these types of lives. I can't imagine that everyone didn't come out of this with so much more empathy and understanding, which I like.
But that's why one of my favorite comments, honestly, that like I have read in my life on our channel have been from this show. Yeah.
Like this was one of my favorite viewing experiences because of the people.
Definitely one of my favorite because of the people, because of because like again, like you said, you can be not empathetic and watch this show and understand this show. And I just enjoy reading those comments, analyzing all the situation, maybe some that like I wouldn't analyze in the same way. You know?
I mean, I loved everyone who like linked to real life situations where some things were happening, whether it was like in the education system or in like the police brutality, politics, whatever. Like it just, everything felt so much more real because of that. Again, because it is so real. But I just think like I gained the most in a way watching this show with my like maybe view of life, because like again, I think that is a part of the shows. For you to be able to see things that you wouldn't necessarily see in your day to day. And I think that this show is the show that it
I was about to say, like, showed many of those different ones. And honestly, I'm forever grateful for that. And for the experience we had about watching the show.
I mean, I just really, I don't think it's comparable to
like, I am selfish that, like, I really wanted more. I wanted more storylines. Honestly.
But just, like, again, like, the importance of it all, like, just to show you, like, we saw Dookie and Michael in this, and like they have become the characters that we knew in this show, and like how the wheel keeps turning and how they all end up in such, like, let's say, predictable places, because like that is the choices that they have again are so limited,
are non-existent
in this like tunnel. Because like you see these kids that are so bright, so good, could have anything that they want in life, and yet there is no possibility for them to have it. I mean, we saw Kennard like getting arrested here, you know what I mean? Like, what, a fucking 9-year-old whose life is forever gonna be defined because of how he grew up and what he saw on the street, and like that led him to kill a person, you know? And now, well, like, what is his life gonna be? He is just forever gonna be in it, you know? And it's just such a, like, it is just such a hopeless situation. But again, there were so many characters. Like, a character that I'm forever, like, gonna remember in this show is Bunny. And again, he had the scenes that had the most impact on me. Like, when he was talking about, you know, the paper bag that they put for alcohol, and kind of trying to put that paper bag for the drugs, because like there's so many useless things that get done that only serve a purpose of putting people in jail because of that, like, war on drugs that like really created the damage that was created by that, like, by Nixon's war on drugs. And like, I think, what did I even read that he did that because like a lot of the white hippies were like doing marijuana, and like they didn't want to vote for him or something like that, and so like he wanted to concentrate on that. Like, the amount of damage that like one person in charge can do can stem like generations. And so like so many people, like the amount of people incarcerated in America, like the amount of privately owned prisons. Like, the amount of things that this show has touched upon is just like tremendous. We didn't even mention this season was like the newsroom, and like that is a thing that I wish was like more explored. I think that is a thing that, like, let's say, lacked the most in this season for me, just because like there was a limited amount of time, and the characters that we did have, I still don't really feel like I know them, you know? Like, I really liked Gus, and I think Gus was a really great character, and I assume he's supposed to represent the writer. And we had Scott, who was like, I don't even think we need to talk about Scott, you know what I mean? We all know what we think about him, what an awful fucking human. But like, I really wish we knew more about Alma. She really seems like she would have been such a great character. Like, she did the right thing by telling them what she knew about Scott, and she got demoted because of that.
Yeah, but like, I feel like the season and the newsroom season suffered a lot, meaning because it was the last season and they wanted to plan to wrap up all the storylines. Like, it wasn't enough time to explore completely all the possibilities that they were able to explore if they had, let's say, more episodes or something like that. But like, I honestly think with the time they had and the time they decided to dedicate to newsroom, wrote enough, in my opinion, to have an opinion about Gus, about Alma, about Scott, about all of them, and to understand how the story is gonna end for each one of those characters.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, again, more importantly, I think they like did show the importance of media.
Yeah, I think,
and like how a lot of the things that even the politicians have done is because of the way that it's going to be perceived in the media, and like what type of an obligation people who work that job have.
I think,
I don't think it's maybe and I don't think that's maybe like said enough. I don't think I thought about the importance of media until like I saw it, you know, directly in this country. When like the president that we do have now, who was the prime minister before, but like when he started, he like very slowly owned all the media that is available. What is it called? On a nation frequency, you know. And a lot of people in Serbia are poor and like thus are not going to be able to like afford cable, where you can get some type of like different opinion that goes against what the president wants you to know, you know. And like, just seeing the media and how the portrayal of what they say can really like poison your mind when it's not like correct. Because like, I mean, I have seen that in my household. Like, my grandma and grandpa, let's say, both watched channels that are like on the national frequency, even though like they had cable, but like this is what they like watched all their lives. And like, I remember my grandma used to hate our president. He's like really an awful human. Like, he is really, like, no words for him. Like, he, like, in the 2000s, he was with the war criminals, you know, and now he's suddenly president. I don't know how really that happened, but I have seen her go from hating him to like, when she watches the news and I like talk to her about it, she like says, well, he's not that bad. He's like trying to do things. And I'm like, how is there this much disconnect in between like what's actually happening, what's being portrayed in the media? And that's why he keeps winning. And we have an election in 2 days, so like, wish us luck. It's not going to turn out well, but we're still going to go out and vote. But again, the importance of media has really never been more understandable to me than like in this day and age, and like personally, like from where we live as well. And so I think they did a good job of showing that.
I think in the show, they with the amount of time they had, they were able to show you that through Scott, through false media, through all of it, you know. So I am actually satisfied with the newsroom storyline. Because again, we did have 10 episodes. And
I mean, like, something had to have
much more important storylines during this season, you know. But like, I think they did a fine job, honestly, with what time they had. So like I'm pretty satisfied with all of it. That's why I think that just this season and as show as a general was without a fault, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Like without a fault.
Yeah,
like I just really think it had so many important storylines, so many good messages, like everything even much more than you need from one show. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I love that in this whole season you had so many callbacks. Like we keep seeing the doc as well, that like being transformed into something else with like investors and like you even saw Nick for that brief period of time. Like they remind you of all the storylines that they did
and show you how they ended
there's
up.
Like even there's too many to even name, you know, with the homelessness, with the schools, with the poverty, with the like racial prejudice, with like I can't even, it is so difficult to like even recap and talk about, but like I don't know how anyone could do it better. I really don't. I mean, like there's so many scenes of this show that are gonna like haunt me forever, especially the ones with the kids. Like I don't think for each and every single one of the kids, I don't think I can ever like forget. Another scene that will just like haunt me forever was from the previous episode, when Yuki started talking to Michael and like telling him like remember the time when there were kids and like playing at summer, like the last days of childhood innocence, and Michael saying that he doesn't, and because of everything he went through. Like those types of scenes were so brilliantly done to just like be forever ingrained in you. Like I don't know how I will ever forget it. You know, like it's gonna haunt me forever just to know their stories and to know that there are the stories of so many other kids. Yeah. And so many other kids that are still growing up. And it really feels hopeless when you know there's nothing you can do from even this part of the world. Like there's something you can do for the kids that are growing up around you in such poverty and helplessness. But like it just feels so unfair.
Yes, I agree with you. Like kids is definitely one of the storylines that like is gonna stick with me. But like again, I think the general message and the things that like I have learned, even though many of the things I have read about and knew, but like just seeing this through the eyes of children, or through the eyes of the addicts, or through the eyes of people in politics or in police, you know, just seeing that through their eyes taught me even more. I feel like I don't think I have ever left a show where I thought I have learned so much just by watching it. But like not just by watching, but by also reading a lot of you guys' opinions or the real life stories that are connected to the situations or have been inspired by the opposite. This show has been inspired by those situations or things like that. And that is definitely things that like I'm gonna miss. Honestly,
I'm really gonna miss having how much it was hurting me.
No, I like I said, like I am greedy. Like I really want more. I mean, I know we're not gonna get it. It's been 20 years, but like,
isn't it sad that it's
nothing has changed?
Yeah, like we don't get to finish that show and say like it was such a rough time back then. Like it's really hard that this again could be made today, and you don't need to change a single fucking word. You know, isn't that sad? But like what I think we can all get and what we should all get from this is just doing your best. Just doing your best as an individual, because like
they're
not gonna care,
even though I'm 100% sure that many of us will say the thing that like I'm gonna say now not to say. But like not just think that like you can do absolutely anything, but it's like you are not big enough, important enough, you know,
you can always change the people around you.
Again, like at least one person opinion
means something
about homelessness, about school system, about politics, about any of the big subjects, you know, not just connecting to the show, of course, you know,
I mean,
like connecting there's
so much wrong happening in the world.
So like just like changing one person's opinion or influencing or anything,
or just like helping,
or just like exactly
like do like there's one thing, like my parents have really kind of given me freedom in my growing up. Like I don't think I have ever, they never forced any type of like belief or anything on me, but like the one thing that I remember from my childhood and that like my dad still tells me to this day is that like help who you can help, and if you can't help them, or don't make it harder for them. And I think like me living the life, I just like always, everything I do, I try to like honor that, and like try to help if I can and not to do harm if I can't. And again, I think sometimes that's the most we can do, but that is really not insignificant, and that like really can mean the world. So like guys, I think this is all the wisdom we have to give you. That is all that we can. I started coughing. My mouth is so dry from the talking. I am just really gonna miss it. I'm just really gonna miss
everything
this
about
show, and I'm really gonna miss the community that it brought.
It's so sad that we are leaving it behind.
Yeah, but like maybe new things come. Not better, but like
new things are gonna come.
Just very different.
I mean, hopefully different as well.
There's only so much I can take.
Exactly. So like I am wishing for something more relaxed.
Sure.
You know?
That we maybe make a choice, maybe we didn't make a choice. Well, we're gonna watch next. You'll see.
Okay, guys.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, for writing your comments and everything.
We might see in the next show.
Or
we might not.
Maybe
but
some other. It doesn't have to be the real next one or something, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it. Thank you so much. Bye.